Yes, good afternoon. Sava here from Football Heritage TV. It's Christmas Eve. Everybody's probably eating and drinking way too much, having fun, putting on those Christmas calories. But in the world of football, there are presents that kept being given at Tottenham Hotspur. And today I want to talk about two things. First of all, we'll talk about Everton at home yesterday in a game that probably was a bit underwhelming, but we got the 3 points. And then after that, I want to look at what Postecoglou is doing at Tottenham Hotspur and the expectations that he is clearly exceeding. Clearly, no matter what Tottenham fan I spoke to, fans, YouTubers, pundits, whoever I heard speak in the summer, no one said we would be where we are now. So what's happened? How has he made it happen? Well, first of all, let's look back to yesterday. Listen, the old adage springs to mind. When you're in the throes of doing a watch along, or even if you're just watching the game or you're at the ground, the emotions of the game at that time are what you feel. When the dust settles and you actually can see the light of day and you take a step back, 3 points is 3 points. And that is the most important thing about yesterday. Was it a vintage Spurs display? Well, after 30 minutes, I thought yes. After the first 30 minutes, Sean from Spurs Talk Show and I, who were doing a watch along, sat there and said, I can't believe in any way, shape or form that Everton are going to have a foothold in this game. We're going to win this game 4-0, 5-0. I thought we'd be 3-0 up by half time. It looked so comfortable. In the first 30 minutes, I think Everton had created one proper chance where Romero put in an excellent sliding tackle to stop Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the first 5 minutes. Mikalenko swung in a couple of lovely balls from the left. Other than that, Everton were not in this game of football. Now, here's where there's still, for me, a bit of fragility. And of course, I would expect that. That's not going to disappear over the course of August to December. That takes years to get rid of this completely. The fragility was there. That Everton started to win the 50-50s in midfield. Everton started to find those gaps at the back. Everton started to put pressure on Porro and Royale and Romero playing out the back and started to make us make sloppy passes, which they intercepted. Now, a win is a win. But what happened? It was like a light switch went off at 30 minutes. Now, at this stage, you still had Richarlison on the pitch, Romero on the pitch, Pape Sarr on the pitch. So I don't go as deep into others as, but look who was playing, because we were dominating with the same players playing for the first half an hour. But that's to be expected in any game of football, not the Premier League, in any game of football. Every team will have a spell of possession, whether you're playing a team from the Championship, whether you're playing a team from League One. Teams are going to have moments in games, and it's about how you ride that storm. And to be fair, Everton, for me, they should have scored, but didn't look like scoring, if that makes sense. That last 15 minutes of the first half, I thought they applied a lot of pressure. I just didn't feel that they were clinical. I didn't feel that there was anybody in their team that you think, well, if the chance falls to this guy, we're in trouble. And it proved to be that case. We went in 2-0. We rode that storm. And you're thinking, right, come out, get in at halftime, get the proverbial hairdryer treatment from Postecoglou, come out the second half, fired up, and we go again how we did start the first half. But that didn't happen. We came out within the first minute, we gave the ball away. Everton created a chance. From then on, Charlison got injured. Pape Sarr, obviously Romero had to go off at half-time, and it all started to unravel very, very quickly. Now, you're thinking to yourself, if you can get to 75, 80 minutes, 2-0, all is going to be okay. But it wasn't the case. They swarmed us. They were winning every battle in midfield. Every single battle in midfield they were winning. Spurs, for me, one of the problems with this style of play, again, I'm going to steal Sean's phrase here, the better with the bitter, or the bitter with the better. So everyone loves this style of play. One of the things that will happen is this style of play isn't designed to hold the ball up. Okay, this style of play is designed to be frantic, overload, go at 100 miles per hour, which is wonderful to watch. Certainly was in the first half an hour and for a lot of games this season. What it does mean, though, is when that's not working, you've got no way of holding the ball up at the other end. And I think Everton took advantage of this. They looked physically stronger. They looked more powerful. and they had chance after chance. And the fact that Vicario was man of the match, I think, speaks absolute volumes. Vicario had a great game, many good saves, tipping over the bar, tipping around onto the post. They hit the post, they hit the bar, offside goal. The ball that was probably that far away from being over the line in the last minute from Danjuma, who came on and gave our right side a torrid time. He actually looked really good when he came on. Gomez came on, started to control the play a little bit more, and they looked dangerous. Now, there's two schools of thought. You could say, yeah, but look at the players that ended that game. You're back to Royale, Davis, Dyer, Højbjerg, Skip. Now, yeah, of course you are. Unfortunately, that's the squad we've got. So we did very well. The positives are that we did very well to dig in, to get the 3 points and get over the line, because this was a really important game from the point of view of keeping on the coattails of those that are at the top. Now, I've always maintained all season, and nothing's changed my mind. So before everyone gets really angry with me, nothing's changed my mind. I still believe it will be Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal that pull away. But Aston Villa are there. Spurs are there. We're on the coattails. And if we look at the Premier League table, now, you can actually see there's a bit of a gap forming. Let's just assume if City can win or draw their game in hand, then they go on to 35 to 37 points. There's a bit of a gap forming there between Spurs, City, and then West Ham and Newcastle. So this is why it was very important to keep on the coattails, to keep us there. Now, if we move this away, so by the way, my overall feelings are, listen, not every game you're going to play well. Not every game you're going to blow everyone away 4-5-0. You can't do what you did to Newcastle every week. That's just not how football works. Liverpool don't do that to every team every week. City don't. Arsenal don't. Sometimes you have to dig in. And that's why yesterday for me showed it was a worrying performance in aspects, but pleasing from the fact that we dug in, we showed grit and determination. And as they say, probably a game in years gone by where we would have caved and lost the game. So credit to the boys for digging in, especially the likes of Dyer, Davis, Royale, Højbjerg, Skip, players that I don't think are good enough to be at this club, but they dug in and they got the 3 points. Now, when we look at the table here, what a fantastic job Ange Postecoglou has done. No one at the beginning of the season would have said, you know what, going into Christmas, Tottenham Hotspur will be 4 points off the top, 3 points off second place. No one would have said that. Above Man City. Now, of course, Man City have got a game in hand, but no one would have said this at the beginning of the season. I said that I think we'd finish anywhere between 5th and 8th. I still stand by that, by the way, because I think it's going to be a right dogfight, depending on what teams do in the January window is obviously going to have a huge bearing on what happens. But there were people in my camp saying 5th to 8th would be a great season. There were other people saying, I think we're going to really struggle. This could be an 8th to 12th. And then there were the people going, well, look, we've lost Kane. This manager's come from Celtic. He's never managed in a top league. We're going to be somewhere down the bottom. So hats off to Ange Postecoglou. What a phenomenal job this man has come in and done in such a small space of time. And this is the key thing for me. Now, when I go on to other podcasts that aren't Spurs related, I think a lot of people just see it that, oh, so what? You've got a new manager bounce. And I always try and get the point across that this summer was so much more than just getting a new manager. This was new academy directors. This was new scouts, new technical director of football. This was a new chief football officer. This was everything. This was a new philosophy, a new way of signing players in the transfer market. So everything for me has come together very quickly and very nicely. And this is the first time in years, even through the Poch years, which there were some very good years in the Poch years, finishing second, Champions League finals, unbeaten at home. But I never felt that we could kick on from that. And we didn't. I never felt that we could because of the way we were going 2 to 3 windows without signing a player, or one player, I think it was, across 3 windows, which was Lucas Moura. Never in that time did I think, you know what, we've got ambition to kick on here. It felt like we were doing well, but we were just happy to coast where we were. Something feels different now. Something does feel different. Now, I could be proven to be completely wrong here because we know Daniel Levy, we know the owners. But something feels different. Something feels more relaxed about being a Spurs fan. Something feels like the green shoots are there. Now, you know me. Everybody who's watching this knows me. I'm not talking about titles this season. I'm just happy that we're there, thereabouts. I'm just happy with the football we're playing. If we were to go on and finish second or win the league, mind blown. Mind blown, and Ange Postecoglou could retire. He would go down as the greatest manager in Premier League history with his 1 year. But that's not where I'm at with my thinking. For me, bigger picture. This is the first time where I've actually sat there and thought, I can see what we're doing for the next 3 to 5 years. I can see where the club want to be. I can see the type of footballer we're signing with the kind of personality, the work rate, the ethic of a Maddison, of a Van der Ven, of an Udogie. So for me, as I said, when people have a go at me about, oh, why can't we win the league? Forget all that. I don't care about all that right now. Bigger picture. What are Spurs creating as a legacy? What are Spurs creating right now that people look at Tottenham and say, that's who Tottenham Hotspur are? You know, I want to be able to sit there with Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Chelsea, whoever, Villa fans, and them to know, oh, you guys play good football. Or that player will want to join you because you play good football. And at the moment, their perception isn't that, and that's fine. Their perception will change as our perception changes. But it's nice to be in this conversation, being up there in the Champions League places at the turn of Christmas. Now, can we stay there? Why not? Will we stay there? Who knows? Injuries, suspensions, African Cup of Nations, the Asian Cup, all of these different things can contribute. The January transfer window is the big one for me. What can we do? Can Spurs go out this window and make a statement? And by make a statement, I don't mean will we go out and buy an Mbappe? I mean, will we go and buy the 2 to 3 players that we need in key areas, at the back, in midfield and up front, that take us from being a team that panics when we lose 2 or 3 players like we did yesterday in the game. You lose Richarlison, you lose Sarr, you lose Romero, and it's, oh my God, look who's coming on. To, that's all right. He comes out, Todibo will go in. That type of thing. Can Spurs do that? Have we got the ambition, the desire, the drive? Is this the moment that Daniel Levy can finally see, you know what? If I just drop a little bit of extra money in here, we could really go places. Now, I'm going to stick with my prediction for this season. I think we will finish between 5th and 8th. By the way, I don't think we'll be as low as 8th, but that was the bracket I always gave it. I think we will make Europe this year. However, if we finish 4th, I've sat there and said, I think this will be absolutely a phenomenal achievement. I think if we finish 4th, this will eclipse any of the seasons Poch had. Now, hear me out on this. It wouldn't be second like Poch got, but it would be in year 1. And the time frame and the context of that short period of time changes the narrative. 4th, I think, would be sublime. Anything above 4th, and I honestly think conversations need to be had about how well he's done. But I'm going to keep my feet on the ground because 3 games is a long time in football. 3 games ago, it didn't look like this. 3 wins since, it does look like this. 3 defeats coming up, it won't look like this. 3 wins coming up, it looks even better than this. So I keep my feet on the ground. But absolutely nothing but credit to Ange Postecoglou, to his coaching staff. Credit to the players as well. I think we credit Postecoglou, of course, but the players have taken his demands on board. They've implemented it. And even the fringe players that have come in and done a job. The Ben Davies. Now, do I want Ben Davies at the club next year? No. Can I acknowledge that other than yesterday where I thought he had a poor game, the 3 or 4 games before that, he was exceptional. So credit to these types of players. Credit to the staff. Credit to the manager. Credit to the owners as well. Give credit to the owners, but they've got to keep that going. That credit for me is that big at the moment because for me, that doesn't change what they've done the rest of the years. So what I'll say is this. A fantastic first half of the season. Obviously, we're 1 game away from being halfway through, but a fantastic first half of the season. Great to see that we've managed to get that 5-game blip out of the way and now gone 3 wins in a row. We now move to Brighton, Hove Albion away. Brighton are a funny team, aren't they? Brighton are a very funny team. They've only lost one more game than us, but they do draw quite a lot of games, and you never know which Brighton you're going to get. The free-flowing Brighton that blow you away, or the Brighton that can't score goals and struggle. Well, we're going to find out because we go and play them this week, later on this week. Everybody, let me know your thoughts. A massive thank you from Perchy and I. Thank you for all your support. We've really, really enjoyed running the channel this year. We'll be back tonight for a Spurs Christmas review, where we'll be looking at the season so far, looking back in a bit more detail at yesterday, looking forward to Brighton. But much love. Thank you to everyone. And what I'm seeing is less infighting between Spurs fans this year, which is really nice to see. Everybody, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your, what day is it? Enjoy your Sundays. Forget the day. Enjoy your Sunday. Spend time with your loved ones. We'll see you tonight at 7:30 for the Spurs Christmas review. Take care, everyone. As always, happy Christmas and come on, you Spurs.